and Timothy Quay were born on July 17, 1947. The identical twins were raised in Norristown, Pennsylvania. They studied illustration at the Philadelphia College of the Arts, and in 1969, they moved to England to study at the Royal College of Arts after working for a short period of time as illustrators in Philadelphia. In the early 70s, the brothers spent some time in the Netherlands. They returned to London to team up with Keith Griffiths, who now produces their films. In 1980, the trio formed Knock Nicks Studios. The company name originates from a Belgian beer label. The three of them were in a bar in Brussels, collected the beer mats from what they had drunk, wrote down the names, and sent them to the Belgian company registry's office. The only one they would permit was Nonic.
People tend to say that that we're acolytes of Schrankmeyer, and it just sort of the Schrankmeyer came to us very late in our life. Actually, for us, the precedent with animation had always been Starovich and Borovchik, particularly Borovchik's films like Renaissance and
Jeu des Anges.
Jeu des Anges, and then. It was only through a friend in 1983, a Czech friend, who said, "Do you know the films of Schrankmeyer?" And we said that no, we didn't. We'd never heard of him. And when we mentioned it to Keith, he said, we said, how can we get to see this work, this body of work? And Keith said, as Keith would always say, let me think on it a bit. And then he gets one of his ideas in the bathtub, and then he comes back and says, why don't we propose a documentary setting up the difference between French surrealism and Czech surrealism? And then we proposed it to the Visions at Channel 4, and they gave us the money to do a 54-minute documentary on Schrankmeyer.
Lighting of your landscapes?
Well, I think it's in relationship to the mood that you want to achieve at that moment. I mean, also the music has a huge contribution in how you absorb that light. I think in general we don't really think like, okay, it's daylight, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, the sun's coming up, and try to create something realistic. I think the lighting states tend to be sort of on the edge of the crepuscular, you know, it's on the edge of twilight. And I think that's the moment when things happen. So it's in a half light or that liminal state.
just wondering if the editor and the composer kind of come together.
Never.
Oh, really?
No, the music is composed first before the film is even done.
Really?
So the editor has nothing, and normally we do the editing.
The musician has nothing to do with the editor.
Yeah, sorry, is that
The editor actually shapes the image through the music.
So
The music is first.
Oh, wonderful.
So the composer has no idea about... Actually, with Lech, whenever he does the music, he doesn't say theme for Lisa or love theme. He just gives very bizarre titles, very eccentric titles, which we're permitted to use anywhere we want. He doesn't write for the film.
Does that serve as a direction for the actor?
No.
Or, okay.
just for us?
That's up to us.
Just our business.
Yeah.
You have to sort of work out you have an idea for the visual grammar, but you have to see if it's working. So,
in terms of the editing as well.
So as we're shooting the film, we're actually cutting it
simultaneously
with the music, so to see if it's actually working. And then, of course, if it does start working, then it gives you confidence to say, keep pushing, try this, try that, and then it just grows like
organically. We never do storyboards.
Only unless they put a gun to our head.
We've done about how many commercials? 30-second commercials for either America or London. And
like which brands?
We did Nikon. We did Honeywell, Dulux Wood
Preservation.
Really? So
Monsanto.
wood.
Yeah.
Oh, Monsanto! I heard that you made the weeds
Yes,
so sympathetic
Yes.
that you never got the job from it.
When they came back to us for the second time, they said, that's the one stipulation they said, this time we'd like it, the weeds be not so sympathetic.
But they came back a second time.
Well, they came back, but
They
then
talked about
they
it,
talked
then
about
they
it.
never did it.
Yes, it was sad. Yeah, they missed the opportunity to fail a second time.
I think they weren't going to let us subvert, but we only do them once in a while.
We did it up until 9/11, and then the bottom fell out of the market, and then it just stopped. I mean, we did one chocolate
last year.
Chocolate commercial, which we filmed. It was actually cheaper to go to Riga.
I've been to Riga.
And to find this little, in terms of the casting, we found this little girl who could be a gnome, like an elf.